Hello guys, welcome back. Today, I'd like to take a step back to 2015 and talk about one of Samsung's flagship phones, the Galaxy S6. We are going to do an unboxing as well as review the phone, talk about its build quality, also its specs and technical features. Here I have the Verizon 32GB Black Sapphire Edition. But why Black Sapphire if it does look blue? I have no idea. In the back, the packaging shows the package contents as well as some other things. Something interesting I did find was the actual formatted capacity is less. What does that mean? It may be advertised as 32 gigabytes, but this phone is running TouchWiz as well as Android. So part of it is being used, part of the 32 gigabytes is being used by the operating system itself. So in actuality, you're probably running only on around 30 gigabytes, which is not bad because every phone does that from iOS to Android. Doesn't matter if it's an iPhone. But yeah, the packaging itself is just a very simple white but yet luxurious with raised lettering. This is apart from last year's, well, the year before it, the Galaxy S5 with the box that looked kind of like a woodish design. Well, enough rambling. Let's remove the sleeve here. Sorry for the box itself, it's kind of dirty. I did put it in some tables here and whatnot, so some of it is kind of dirty, as well as some other things here. The reason I have this other peripherals here is the things that I bought when I bought this phone. I invested a lot in this phone because it was a step above of what I expected by Samsung when they revealed it at the keynote back in March of 2015. So the first thing you see when you open up the box is the phone itself. It is a beautiful glass on metal design. One thing about using metal or aluminum is that it's very cold to the touch, especially when you wake up in the mornings and you pick up this phone. You can feel that quality and the glass. So something I noticed too is that Verizon and AT&T are the only two companies that have these, what you call them, some people call them tramp stamp. Well, companies like T-Mobile or Cricket just have the brand Samsung there, which I would like better than just the Verizon. I bought this phone back in April of 2015, 2 days after this phone came out. By then, I was still rocking my S4, which was a step way less quality than what this phone had to offer. I was rocking this for 2 years. Before this, it was the S3. When I updated a year later to the S4, it was because of the screen quality and its other features. From its 4.8 display, 447 ppi. So it was an HD screen. Its updated camera, and also that little guy right there. That one is called the IR Blaster. Sorry for the focus here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so the IR Blaster right there. What is that? Well, basically that turns your phone into a universal remote. So I was sold immediately. It had expandable memory, so I kept it. And then the S5 came out, which had a water resistance. Not like the S7 that has almost a waterproof design. But it was essentially the S4 just upgraded. So I went on and waited. And I got this phone. And yes, it was miles ahead. The build quality, the feeling of it, it was awesome. And it still maintained its IR blaster right there. The headphone jack was moved to the bottom, and the speaker quality is miles way better than my other phones, my older phones as well. Just like the S5, some things did come with the phone, such as this heart rate monitor and all that good stuff. So enough rambling, and let's get to the unboxing here. So let's put the phone to the side. So when you unbox this phone, you still have this cardboard here and a little sensor thingy there. You unbox it and you get the manuals and all that good stuff. But that's kind of a boring thing right there. With it, you get this fast adaptive charging, which by history of Samsung, it only takes like an hour to really get up to the 80%. And a little bit more, from 0 to 80 actually, and a little bit more to get 100. So if you're on the go and you have fast adaptive charging, ooh, that's a lifesaver. I mean, I've seen other phones, like my girl's iPhone, which takes 60 million years for it to charge. Meanwhile, mine's already at 100. Not to knock iPhone's good, it's just, this is worth all the money in the world, especially with a phone with this much power. So this is the power cable, the SIM removal tool, and the headphones. These headphones are actually very good. The gels themselves do some sort of noise cancellation, as well as they do have some Samsung branding there, so it's pretty cool. So let's put this back in there. Yeah, the unboxing experience, it's getting better. I think the S7 unboxing experience is a lot better than this one. But by then, I mean, this was pretty nice. So let's put this to the side. Kind of put this together here. There we go. And let's talk about the phone itself. Sorry for the focus, guys. Okay, so let's turn this puppy on. There we go. And let's talk a little bit more about it. So we wait. It takes only a couple of, less than a minute for it to activate. So just like any other phone. Shows the branding. And then the carrier, which is a retina burning red. So what's different about this phone? Well, this phone comes with a fingerprint scanner. Unlike the S5 where you had to slide, I don't know why you had to do that on that fingerprint scanner, and it was kind of crap, by the way, so I wasn't sold yet. I was impressed, but wasn't sold. This one is just a tap and click. But when you restart the phone, you gotta tap in to your code first to get in. So let me get my code going there. I already had this phone set up, but once you get the code in there, it's a smooth experience. Boom, and you're in. So you start getting all these emails. I already have everything set up for this review. Let's talk about its specs, shall we? The overall design of the Galaxy S6 is still retained by its predecessor, the S5 and the S4. Similarity design includes the home button, the front cameras, but other than that, build quality was changed, revamped. Samsung revamped this phone, as well as the way the LED flash and the camera were set up. The camera stayed in the middle, but a little bit lower, and all the flash and everything was moved to the side. Some things that this phone was knocked from was because you couldn't upgrade its memory. So if you bought the 32 gigabytes, you stayed with 32 gigabytes. This phone came with other variants, the 64 and 128 gigabytes versions. But the ones I have here was the 32. But I couldn't update or upgrade its memory, so I got what I got. But 32 gigabytes for me is perfect. I have everything Oculus installed in here, as well as music. Everything fits in here. I mean, 32 gigabytes for me is great. Some people may need like heavier users, 64 or even 128. I mean, 128 will be very, very hard to fill up. I have many games in here as well for my Oculus VR, Gear VR, as well as everything programmed, as well as my Samsung Gear there. Sorry for this this little stain here. Like I said, I put this in the table and it got a little bit stained. Also, this battery is a 2500 milliamp hour battery, well 2550, and it's not replaceable. So on the older phones, you can remove the plastic back and replace the battery. Not on this one. This one, it's all a unibody design, which many people hated it, as well as expandable storage. Me, I was sold real quick. I don't really care about replacing a battery, especially if you have a fast adaptive charging. And with the build quality like this, it's on par with other premium devices such as Apple's iPhone and other things like HTC. So, I mean, if you're gonna pay $700 phone, you better feel the $700 phone. But with the design, with the glass and metal meshing, you also get this fingerprint magnet, which I don't really care for. I just clean it, wipe it off, bada boom, it's perfect. I've never dropped this phone ever since I got it, so it's in perfect condition. I do keep it in a case, so that's what makes it what made it last so long. Since the body was changed to an aluminum alloy, Samsung had to do a couple of moves here to retain its similarity in design. That includes moving the speaker in the bottom instead of in a horrible back like this. So when you place the phone right on its back, you just you always hear the song at the same quality. Instead of when you put this one in its back, it muffles the sound. Let's say if you go to a store and you wanted to buy this phone, it comes with different options. It does come in a white pearl, this one black sapphire, gold platinum color finishes, and an additional blue topaz and emerald green, which I wish they had here in the States. The emerald green one, I wanted that one real bad, but unfortunately that was overseas. And this phone came also in two variants. This phone, which was the normal S6, and a more sleeker S6 Edge, which is a curved display, and it had extra features such as when you put the phone on its face, it shine like a different color depending on who's calling you. So let's say your mom, we put her as pink, and you put it on the ground like that on a table, and it rang, it'll shine pink. So that was a pretty cool feature on that phone. Something about this phone that was removed from its previous or its predecessor was the water resistance. So this phone was no longer water resistant till the S7 came out and it became perfected. Also was the camera hump. As you can see, it sticks out quite a bit, kind of like an iPhone. But it doesn't rock when you're typing on a table. It doesn't rock as much because it's not at a corner. So let's talk about its battery. Something that I didn't like about this phone, its battery. It didn't last too long. This battery does come with a 2550 milliamp hour battery, but something that bothers me is because that battery is too small for this phone. For such a small battery, this phone does pack quite a punch. It features a PC architecture 64-bit Exynos 7 by Samsung, which is an octa-core 7420. What does that mean? It has four 2.1 gigahertz Cortex 857 core and four 1.5 gigahertz Cortex A53 cores. That means it uses one for its operating system, which makes it buttery smooth, and the other one for gaming. So it's always a buttery smooth experience. It hasn't frozen on me, just like the other devices have. So it's been running quite smoothly. This one also has a 3 gigabytes LPDDR4 RAM, which makes it quite a fast device. And the S6 Edge, which came out later on, the S6 Edge Plus, which was a bigger version of this phone, did have a DDR4, which was a 4 gigabyte. So it was a lot faster than this, but it's not really noticeable. So like I said, the first 4 cores were used for the operating system, and the other cores not only gaming, but also for its peripherals such as the Gear VR. So this phone was built for virtual reality. So such a small battery, like I said, that's a lot of power to punch. And thank God for fast charging. So let's take a look at the camera. The camera itself was one of its best features. Here's a selfie mode, which is me, and a standard mode. This is quite a huge improvement, especially in low light quality compared to its predecessor, which had such a grainy, a lot of noise in its picture. This one is quite a bit clearer, if you will say that. It also records in 4K and HDR, HD 60 frames per second, and QHD. Its screen size, well, this one came in a 5.1 inch screen diagonally, and that's about the same size as the Note, the S5 actually. I'm sorry, yeah, the S5. So basic screen size on it, 5.1 inch screen, Quad HD, Super AMOLED. So Samsung does make one of, if not the best screen out in the market right now. It has a resolution of 2560 by 1440, which means it has a staggering 577 ppi. And this is topped off with Gorilla Glass 4. So imagine watching videos in near 4K just on the screen itself. So that's one of the pluses. I haven't seen a phone that could top off this kind of sharpness as well as this kind of brightness. This thing just goes way out in brightness, as you could see it. I mean, in the sun, you don't even have a problem reading this thing. It is quite amazing and beautiful at the same time. So when you're watching YouTube videos, you could watch them in native HD or go all the way up to 1440p. So you could do that on other phones. I've seen on the iPhone 6s Plus, you could do that. And the rear camera comes in a 16 megapixel, and it's built by Sony. The front is a 5 megapixel, but it also runs a native 1440p at 30 frames per second. So even the front camera had an HDR feature. This phone does come with quite a bit of features, such as my number one that really caught my eye was this. That was wireless charging. That is a Qi wireless charging that from Samsung, where you just drop the phone. Every night I just drop the phone on it, and it just charges automatically. I don't have to worry about plugging it in and whatnot. It just does it. And it does it in quite a good speed. Samsung did release a more updated one with the faster charging, but this one does the trick pretty well as well. So I don't think I need to buy that one if this one does the same thing. The cool thing about the new one is you could stand it on its side, so you could always see the time or any text messages without having to lift up the phone or whatnot. Another cool feature on it was this Samsung Pay. Love it. This feature enables you to use virtually any credit card terminal, no matter how old it is. You just place it next to it and you're off. The cool thing about Samsung Pay compared to Apple Pay or other payment features, it rewards you for using it. Recently, I got rewarded for using it a Samsung card, a Samsung prepaid card. I used this 3 times, and they gave me $15 just for using it. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. I love the promotions. It gives you the deals. That's what's cool about Samsung Pay, and it's available on this phone. So this phone does not only have NFC like Apple Pay, but it also has Max Swipe feature, which when it came out, this is what's one of the best-selling features about this phone. And as you can see, even for a 32 gigabyte device, I do have quite a bit of apps installed on it, and I don't care because 32 gigabytes is more than enough for me. 64 gigabytes will probably be my next option, but for right now, I really enjoy just 32 gigabytes. It just works out. I have games, apps, so much apps installed, and all that good stuff. So let's talk about one of the things that I believe this phone takes the cake, and that's on its universal remote capabilities. So first of all, to activate it, we just click on its Samsung app. This is the folder, and you go to Peel Smart Remote. And now it shows you what's on TV right now, and you click on it, and it will go towards that channel, depending if you have your DirecTV, Xfinity box, or if anybody has that Dish Network. Just push on, if you have this program, you just push on whatever you want to watch, and it'll go straight to it. So let's check it out, shall we? Okay. So here we moved over to the living room to talk about its feature. I love this. This is how you see how the phone changes color. Alright, so this is how it works. The universal feature, universal remote feature. So you have I just programmed the TV onto it, as you can see. If we could focus here, there we go. So now you could control the volume if you want. As you can see. You control the volume with the phone itself. So if you're watching the games, this is right now the Raiders and Chargers, watching the football game. This TV has been this phone rather has been programmed to like a DirecTV type of remote. So as you can see, there's a similarity with all those colors and all that stuff. If you go straight to, let's say, DirecTV, you control the box itself as well. You could change the channel if you want. Raiders and Chargers. But let's say you want to watch, see what's on actual TV itself. Well, I mean, other channels. So let's go back. I'd hate to interrupt this game. I'm still watching it. It's pretty interesting. I'm not a Raiders fan. Steelers just won, so I'm pretty excited. But I love football. But I gotta do this review. So let's check this out. Let's say you wanna, for the season right now, the reason for the season, let's watch the Santa Claus. So you click on the Santa Claus, and there it is. We're watching the Santa Claus. It's just that easy. Love this movie too. It's one of my favorite movies for the holidays. What other is there? Oh, look, The Dark Knight. Let's say you want to watch that, and it changes it by itself. So it's pretty cool, and oh look, Star Wars. I want to watch some Star Wars, The Return of the Jedi. So as you can see, the smart remote, I mean, you don't need to buy those $100 remotes out there when you already have the phone itself. Yeah, there's so much features. If you guys have the package on DirecTV, I recommend to watch it. It's pretty awesome. So let's go back to the review. So, is it worth it? Yes, if you, let's say you're still rocking some other phone or the previous version of this phone, I would recommend the upgrade. This is an upgrade. I know many of you say no, it doesn't have expandability and whatnot. For me, this is an upgrade, but if you have the extra dough, the extra cash, I would move on to the S7. The S6 it's a very beautiful phone, but the S7 just perfects it. Basically, the camera hump is shaven down to a more smoother design. Everything from the chamfered edges are now smoothed out. The glass does kind of curve, so it makes the finger just slide into the screen. While on the S7, everything is smoothed out. Even as you can see, these edges, these etching into the alloy in it. So yeah, if you do have the extra dough, go ahead, get yourself an S7. Plus, it does have liquid cooling. The S7 does have liquid cooling inside compared to this one, which is just a chip. So when I'm using the VR on it, it does heat up quite a bit. I wish it didn't do that like the S7 would. So plus, you can't beat the waterproofness of the S7. I mean, it says it's water resistant. I think just waterproof, straight up waterproof. I went to a local Best Buy and tested out that phone, and it just they had it inside a fishbowl, and I just took it out, and it was still working. So compared to that to this, I mean, I would go for the S7. Design-wise, I prefer this. I love the whole roughness of the chamfered edges on the metal around the camera bezel, as well as the design of the phone itself. And plus, I know the new one has black onyx. This one is sapphire black sapphire, but it turned into this beautiful blue design. I think it's kind of like a jewel. So I'm gonna keep this phone and just wait maybe for the S8 and see what's up with that one. I heard that the fingerprint scanner is gonna be embedded into the screen to make the screen larger into the same footprint of this phone. Can't wait to see that. And if I do get it, I'll review it for you guys. Maybe I'll get a more other peripherals. This is one of them, the Gear Circle that I got that same day with this phone. This one I use it for the gym. I love using it at the gym. It is water resistant as well against the sweat when you're working out, as well as this wireless charger, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, just go ahead and get it. I mean, used one you could get it probably at $300, so it's getting pretty cheap, but it's a little dinged up. The ones I've seen, if you want a brand new one, you're still looking at uppers around $450. But it is totally worth it. I would go for better memory. Just be advised that the battery is seldom incomparable to an iPhone. Something I noticed here on my table is why the heck do I still have this phone? I don't want to confuse you guys. This is the S4. Just taking it out here. And I'll just put this back. Once I clean it, I put it into my case. I bought this case like at $4 in Best Buy. But look at how fancy it makes it look nice, huh? And it covers up that tramp stamp. So yeah, and it protects this phone, plus keeping its beauty and its small footprint in it. Right now I'm rocking the Note 4, Note 5, which is a lot better. It's the same phone virtually. It just has the stylus, same camera, but it has 4 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM and a way better battery, and it does last me quite a while, the whole day compared to this one where I have to charge it close to the end of the day, and so I don't have to worry about the battery such as this one. So this one right now I kept it because I bought this my VR, which it's only for the S6. I know the new ones you could swap. I mean, you could use it on the new Note 5, Note 7, which unfortunately they discontinued. But you could use that, or you could use it on the S7, the S6, and down. That's the new VR. But I have this Innovator Edition, which is not the Consumer Edition, so I'm stuck using it on this phone. So yeah, if you like this review and you want to comment, go ahead and comment, subscribe, and let me know what I could have done better. I'm still just starting, but I'll get better, guys. I promise. This is Taurus 3800, logging out. Thank you.